Alright, my video got interrupted, so I'm going to start with a part 2 here. This plant is camote, or sweet potato, and it's different from the sweet potatoes you have in the United States, but it's delicious nonetheless, and it has some of the same, health benefits as you think of as sweet potato in the U.S. The vitamins and minerals, beautiful flowers, and interesting thing about in Costa Rica, they say that that sweet potato, or camote, is good for people who are crazy. So maybe that's why we have so much growing here. Who knows? We have papaya growing. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 trees growing here on the front yard, and they're just getting established. More sweet potato, or camote. This was more recently planted. It'll eventually fill up this whole bed. And you can see how the property on this in our front yard is terraced, because when we moved here, when we bought the property, this was just a steep bank, and we weren't quite sure how we were going to be able to use it. But Brendan McKeon's crew came in and came up with a plan to terrace it and create these raised beds, which has worked really well for us. And the ever-present vetiver grass. Now we have a pineapple patch over at Casa Buena Vista, and we decided that we'd like to relocate it over here for the long term. And so we just recently started planting pineapple tops over on this side. And when you plant a pineapple top and it roots and turns into a new plant, a productive plant, it takes 12 to 18 months or so to start getting fruit from them. Really depends a lot on the light and nutrients and everything. But then they will produce pineapple multiple times for about 3 seasons or 3 years, and at which point the pineapples get progressively smaller and smaller until it's eventually time to replant them. This was a volunteer green bean plant that came up. Green beans, like cucumbers, are widely available in the mountain for a really good price, and so we're no longer concentrating on growing green beans like we used to. But this one was a volunteer, so we said, no, we'll let it be. This is probably one of the biggest staples of Jill's cooking, from the homestead, is our green onions. And so she comes out here, oftentimes a couple of times per day, for green onions for her recipes. And then we've recently started regular onions here, and we haven't given it a very good try here in Costa Rica, and so we'll see how these do. But we got starts from the nursery in San Isidro, and so we'll see how they do, if we can successfully grow them. This is a spinach, which is really useful. We've recently learned that it does better without full sun. So we have some growing behind the brewery where it's mostly shade, and it seems the leaves are bigger and darker green. Just appears happier. But we don't use this that much because we have so many other spinach type things that are perennials that grow here, that we honestly, just don't need it. But it's excellent for the hens, to give to them as a treat. And so they absolutely love it. The things that the hens get as treats are this spinach, banana leaves they love, the water hyacinth from the ponds over at CBB, and moringa. When we cut moringa and throw it into the pen, it's a real boost. So in addition to the stuff they have growing in their pen, we give them these supplements regularly. More herbs growing right here off from the kitchen. And This is cilantro here. And so we found it does best in a pot as opposed to out in the garden, so we can move it depending on the rain. We have an abundance of aloe, and so aloe for drinks or smoothies or anything, we have an abundance. Looking out over the front yard, a chicken coop, a jackfruit tree, you can see the size of it, and then the lower orchard down there, the brewery. And if you followed us on Facebook at all, there's no way you haven't seen our baby. And there she is. And there's a fire going in it now for later. Ooh, I need to show you this plant. This one is a type of thistle, and the person that gave it to us told us that it was good for witches, and I think by that they mean to keep witches away. And to our knowledge, we haven't had one witch here since we received this plant, and so, you know, I guess I can vouch for it. It's the one big avocado tree I showed earlier, and this is our tiger's paw philodendron, if you will. These grow wild in the jungle, and they sometimes grow high up in trees as well. That's our pet. You see the lower part where we walked earlier, and heliconias. And the jungle. The trees over the brewery there are guava trees, and they produce a fruit that critters love, absolutely love them. It's a bean-shaped pod, and they love to get the seeds out, and it's the seed coating that they love to eat. So this tree is very popular with parrots and parakeets and various other critters. Okay. Let's see, we'll go up stairs. And show you Moshe. She's just chilling. And the view off the back deck with the heliconias and the jungle. Jungle, jungle, jungle. And then this is our somewhat famous table, a kegerator, with currently have 3 beers on tap. And so it's not a bad place to entertain friends and dine and what have you. This right here is how I'm beaming this out to all of you. And there you have it. That's the end of part 2. If you guys have any questions at all, always, never hesitate to ask. And if you have any questions about anything I showed in this video, or anything, just let me know. Pura vida, everyone. Ciao.